doesn't even matter. You don't have to slip.
Right.
So, all right, cool. Well, we'll go ahead and go live then.
Sounds good.
What's up, everyone? How's it going? I'm here with Kyle Depew and Mr. Dallas Langston. How's it going, Dallas?
Good. How are you guys?
Doing good.
Awesome.
Doing good. Living the dream.
Yeah, it's good to hear from you.
Yeah, you as well. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. It was a kind of a last minute thing, but I'm glad you could make it on. I wanted to talk to you just a little bit about your upcoming match this Saturday. How are you feeling?
I feel really good. Super confident right now. I was a little bit worried weight-wise because just a few weeks ago I was heavier than I had ever been, and I thought, shit, this might be a challenge to get to 205. But weight's coming off correctly, dialed in my diet, got some cardio going, and weight's not going to be an issue. I was 207.8 this morning.
Okay.
I got to be 205 tomorrow night. I haven't even began my water cut, so it's
You're already there.
Yeah. You don't really have anything else to lose.
Correct.
Nice.
So I already have a question for you, and it's Devil Raper wants to know.
Devil Raper?
Devil Raper.
Jeez, this guy is intense.
It's I think it's because he's such a hardcore Christian that he just rapes the devil or something like that.
Love it.
But he wants to know, are you prepared for Tullier?
You know, the honest answer is yes. Obviously, I'm prepared. I don't take matches unless I think I'm going to win. Maybe my ego is bigger than reality, but in my mind, at 200 pounds with a WAL setup, nobody's beating me. 0 fucking people are beating me.
Yeah.
So I'm super confident going into this. I'm pretty pissed about it. I love Craig. I respect Craig, and come Saturday, I want to take his soul. I'm not coming to hope to test out. Like, I'm not coming to do anything but just absolutely destroy everyone. Like, that's my plan.
And after you do that, I think you should be credited with potentially being the best arm wrestler in the straps at 200, 205. Because you're already like number 4 in the rankings right now.
Right.
All those guys above you, I think, would worry about how strong you are in the straps.
I appreciate it. I have no idea. Maybe I go into the straps with someone like a Dan Mosier and he really beats me. I don't know. Maybe I go into it because there's only three dudes above me. And that's part of like why I took this match. I wanted to talk a little bit about that because I have nothing really to gain in terms of rankings. I'm already ranked 4th. Craig's ranked 8th as far as I know.
Yeah, so, 8th, 7th, something like that.
I was hoping Craig would have been ranked a little higher than that.
The reason I took it was not for rankings. It's because it's, in my eyes, since I've been pulling, Craig is a legend. Craig is like the Ron Bath of the 200-pound class. Yeah. And so if I have a chance to pull someone that for years and years, like in 20 years, Craig may be retired and not doing this, I have an opportunity to beat him where he's still super in his prime. And so that's why I took this match. It wasn't, oh, this will be cool to fly my ass to Salt Lake, be in 100-degree temperatures, pay my own way to get there, lose money to get there, just so I can win a match. Like, I'm going there to beat a legend. That's why I'm going, and that's why I'm putting up money to be there.
Yeah,
absolutely. And it's always nice when Bob Brown says that Craig has never been stronger, right?
Fucking love it.
So come whoop him, and that's even better.
Yeah.
Now talking a little bit about the straps, because obviously that's your game plan. A lot of people were pretty concerned with the fact that you might get pinned before you got the slip, but it is a WAL rule setup, so you don't have to slip. Is that correct?
Absolutely. So you go up there and dick around for 30 seconds. The rules state there's a time limit, bam, put them in the strap. However, I'm not really honestly planning on just going there and dicking around for 30 seconds. I have 0 fear in getting to the strap now. If Jordan Seal couldn't contain my hand to avoid me getting to the strap, then I doubt Craig could. That's my guess. Maybe that's an error in thinking. I don't know. You guys can weigh in on that. But my new way of slipping is pretty much bulletproof. So yeah. I'm not worried about it.
Well, the thing is you have multiple rounds to figure it out. So if the first round you end up being wrong and you really need that strap right off the go, you can make that adjustment, dick around for 30 seconds, and you'll have that strap and you can go from there.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I think it heavily plays in your favor that you can kind of start with the strap at any point that you want.
Right. Yeah.
So other than the strap, what's your game plan with Tullier, if you don't mind going over that?
Yeah. So usually I probably shouldn't tell my game plan, but my game plan's, it's not going to, I don't think it's going to affect the results. So I'll tell the game plan. And even with his knowledge, if he watches this and knows what I'm going to do, he won't be able to stop what I'm going to do. So that's why I'm fine saying this, at least in my brain. Maybe I'm drunk and I totally felt like screw up. But in my brain, the way that my best game plan going into it, I've watched video on Craig and his angle of attack. I'm not going to beat him in the speed game. Him and Dan Mosier, in my opinion, are as fast as anybody in the class at 200 pounds.
I
I don't
agree.
know what they eat in Louisiana besides quail eggs and crawfish, but whatever it is, it's working. So I'm not going to try to beat him off of the go. I'm going to protect getting flashed by loading pressure. Obviously you got to load, and I'm prepping for a hit. It'll be very Devin Larratt similar-esque type of scenario where I'm not trying to blast in. And the reason I'm not is your wrist becomes compromised if you hit into some opposing force and it stops. I don't want to lose my wrist. It's not massive if I lose my wrist, but it doesn't help. So if I can maintain, a little bit of wrist, sink him into where he's hitting into me, straight into my bicep. My bicep is like on straight ridiculous status of strength right now. So I should be able to block, hold, and then just slowly drag, get some shoulder behind it. And then my side pressure is on absolute ridiculous status right now as well.
Yeah. I think that's a good game plan. It's similar to what I did against Don Underwood. Don, again, is in the super heavyweight class, maybe the fastest, if not one of the fastest guys. And I did the same thing. I loaded, I prepped for a hit, make sure I kept my wrist. And then once the hit was over with, you can work from there. So I think that's a really good game plan. And I'm excited to see you execute it. Now, you mentioned that you have a new method of slipping. How do you plan on getting the strap without just sticking around?
Yeah. So one option, first off, my go-to in the past was always a flop wrist downwards.
Mm-hmm.
It works really well if the other person doesn't know how to counter it. It's honestly hard to stop. It takes someone that has really trained to stop that in order to stop it. And I don't know if Craig has trained that. Craig's old school. He's grab a hold, let's go, all power. And so I don't know if he's trained that. I also don't know, even if he has trained it, if his hand is big enough to stop that. So that's one option. So I have one option is a flop press. Second option is it was a combination between when you came to my house and showed me your slipping skills. And then when I went and pulled with, and Derek Smith has also showed me some great stuff about foot placement, body placement. Devin really kind of brought it full circle. When I was in San Diego at your dad's gym, Kyle, he showed me so much about it's not, bail and come back because that's dangerous. They can grab a hold of your thumb. They can grab fingers. It's more just get to this, just fish your wrist out and pull through the wrist. And if you can just dump and pull through the wrist, even if they grab a hold of this, there's nowhere to go. It's really, really hard to pin that.
Right.
So I would imagine his plan of attack is grab a hold of that and attack towards my side to try to like flash pin in that scenario. And if that works for him, then obviously a 30-second dick around is round two.
Right.
I've got options.
Right.
Absolutely.
So now we touched on rankings a little bit. Right now you're ranked fourth, and who have you beat to get that ranking spot?
I think my win on Brent Rakers may have bumped me up quite a bit.
Yeah.
I think that was the one because he was up there pretty high. I think he was fourth or whatever, and then I had bumped him off. So he was probably one of my bigger, if not biggest wins. I guess the biggest win this year, because that was this year in January. And setting the record straight, if you're watching this, Brent, kind of an interesting video you did with Neil Pickup describing how you beat me. Yeah, in the after poll after I went against Wayne Withers. Come on, dude.
So then your record with Rackers, correct me if I'm wrong, is 2-0?
No, I pulled him 3 years ago, 2018, 2019 in LA Fit Expo. And it's kind of funny. Yeah, slipped, jumped to the wrong side of the table. Strangely enough, my head was not working. I'm like, rushed to the wrong side of the table, got the buckle, had a little war. He pins me. And I remember how that went. I got him onto my side. He then stretched me out because I got impatient, and then he pins me. So I knew going into my match with him this year, I don't have to win fast. If I feel like I'm stronger inside in my move than anyone in the class. So I just went, okay. So once I sunk my spot, then I went sideways, pinned him, no issue at all. He worked his way up through the B side, met him again. He was going to have to beat me twice. I stuffed him, started working my way. He elbow fouled, restart, same scenario. So I smashed him on one, held him on the other until he elbow fouled. Then he was pretty pissed because he thought he was going to win. It was his hometown. He thought, whoever wins was going to get $500. He thought he was just going to win for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So anyways, that didn't go down as planned. So I won.
So do you know what his record is with Craig Tullier?
According to him, he's never lost to Craig. So
but they have pulled before.
That's what he told me. I talked to him, that was in January, and he said he had never lost to Craig. So and everyone, everyone matches up differently. I personally have not had an issue with, I've never pulled Craig, so I don't know what to expect other than he's fast. I've also heard his hand is relatively smaller or normal sized for the class. So I've never pulled anyone in my class similar size in the last couple of years where I was worried. Like if the smaller the hand and if I can actually sink into my spot, I'm not worried at all. It's when I grab a hold of someone like Jordan Seal and his hand is reached around the backside of me over here, and it's like, oh shit, that's a little bit more daunting to me.
Yeah, I know how that feels. Obviously, I just pulled him this Saturday. He has quite the hand.
Yeah. His hand and wrist they feel like iron. His wrist is what's susceptible, but I can't get the height on him to crack that wrist, but he's also susceptible to speed. And that's how I beat him left-handed. I had a super quick hit left-handed.
Yep. So what did you think of this past weekend with a fatal 4-way?
I thought it was awesome. Thank you. Made me $395 or whatever. It made me $295, I think. So I bet on you. I had figured going into it that I don't know if I should bring up what I really thought.
Bring up what you really thought.
What I really thought was you being natty preserves your endurance. And I thought if you can have a war with Jordan, first I knew you had Jordan's number. Jordan in my mind was the wild card of like, Jordan's solid. Dude can get to where he wants to get most of the time. Power wise, he's strong as hell. If you get into his sweet spot, that's why he's number one.
Right.
You get into his sweet spot, it is his game and he will win. But I know that you had his number because I watched you pull him just a month before that, 2 months before that in Texas. I've seen you pull him before that. And after the Ron Bath war. So there was a little bit of like, is he really better? I don't know, because they had the super match. But deep down, I thought you have the confidence going into it. You'll have the stamina being natural, and you're calm, you're smart, and you're working. Like you had a lot of tools going into it that I thought these other two dudes, I thought Mike and Don are going to wear themselves out, which is exactly what they did. They're both going to go inside. They're both strong as hell. They're both going to blow up, which they did. You're going to beat Jordan, and then you're going to have an easier day with the other two. So as soon as I saw how that was going down, I thought I'm betting on chance. And
I'm glad I could make you some money. And speaking of betting, your State Kings is still available. There's still a little bit available on your State Kings. Have you been keeping up with that?
No, honestly, haven't. So I've done a poor job promoting. So that's why Devin hit me up this morning. He's like, hey, dude, you've still got some more availability. I figured I'd fill up, but I think for whatever reason I didn't. I threw some money on it myself. I've got side bets with Jordan and some other dude in Utah. So yeah, I'm $1,800 into it without the cost of without the cost of
Wow.
flying my ass to Salt Lake.
So you have 1,800 of your own money betting on yourself.
Absolutely.
And,
yeah.
But not all of those are in Stakings.
Correct. 500 I bet on State Kings, and then I've got 1,000 with Jordan, and then I've got 300 with some other dude. I think his name is Cody. I don't even know who he was.
It's really interesting to me that you haven't filled. Personally, I have you as the favorite to win this. Before I knew it was a WAL strap setup, I thought it was a lot closer. I still gave you the edge, but now that I know if you want the strap, you can just have the strap. I mean, I would feel silly not to bet on you. And I was talking to Uncle John about that last night. We had him on the show after John Brzenk was on the show, and I was telling him that he was crazy for betting against you. But
I'm honestly very happy that it's going this way, because if I was favored, I hate going into a match favored. It makes me nervous. And
hey, tell me about it.
I seriously hate it. So when I had the match with Ryan Bowen, I went into it thinking I'm going to ruin this dude.
Yeah. Hey, that sounds familiar.
Wrong set. Yeah, you did it too.
Yeah.
I even warned you. I think I messaged you beforehand. I'm like, be prepared, dude. I know we all make fun of him because he's in Australia and has red hair, but the he's no joke.
And I said, who cares?
And you're like, I've got it. I'm the king of Florida.
I wasn't even the king of Florida at the time.
Yeah, but yeah, I knew where you were coming from, because that's where anyone who's polled Ryan is coming from. That's why he's very successful at winning. He hypes himself up as being strong, and nobody believes it but him. And then people go into this match with him and they're like, oh shit. Like, yeah. I won that first round. And when I won, I knew I was screwed. Immediately knew I'm going to lose this. And it was surprising. So I underestimated him. I am not underestimating Craig. And I'm very, very happy that people have pissed me off enough to think that I'm the underdog. So I like going into it with this because I'm ready.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyone watching right now should take all of that and go stake Dallas Langston, because
speaking of which, someone just
got a
you.
huge chunk.
Yep. You only have 1% left.
Hell yeah. That's smart, man.
Yeah.
That is a smart person.
Whoever you were.
Yeah.
I haven't bet any money on stakings yet, but I have a side bet with Bob Brown, and it's the most money I've ever bet against on an arm wrestling match that's not my own.
Cool.
So
I will do everything in my power to get you paid.
100%.
Interestingly enough, a lot of people are saying that Craig is going to have the edge because he has Bob in his corner, and Bob is going to tell him everything, and he's going to have a rule book. But Bob has been in Jordan's corner every time that I've pulled Jordan, and I haven't found it to make any difference. When you have a guy that has been pulling as long as Craig or Jordan, they're just going to pull the way they pull, regardless of what Bob tries to tell them.
Exactly. So I just like the analogy I would use is I know how to beat Jordan Sill, but if I don't have that skill, then it's useless to me until I develop that skill.
Right.
So is Craig super good at lat drag? My back is so fucking strong. It's absolutely ridiculous right now. That's one thing that most arm wrestlers, I think they overlook. Everyone on the earth can do a better bicep curl than me and a wrist, whatever they're doing. I work my back out. I work my biceps out, my shoulders, my core. So I'm doing stuff that engages the strap. I'm dragging your ass over to me. So if Craig is faster than me, his hand is better than mine, he's got more experience, and he is very, very furious at the table. He's intimidating. However, if I walk into it calmly, which I will, get to my setup, allow him to sink himself right into my bicep, I will calmly just win. So you can know the plan. And if you can't beat where I'm going, it doesn't matter.
Exactly.
Know the plan.
And Dallas, just real quick, just so you know, State Kings just commented you're officially sold out. So your block is sold out. They said new block may be coming shortly. They might open up another block on you, and if they do, I'm definitely going to throw a couple bucks your way, because I'm confident in you. And not that Craig Tullier is not a formidable opponent. I just think stylistically it's a tough match for him, just the same way RVJ might be a tough match for him. Even though he's given RVJ battles, RVJ typically always comes out on top. And I think that potentially in the direction that Craig is going, you will be a harder matchup than our VJ is for Craig. So can you touch a little bit on what your training has been like up to this point, as far as gem time, table time? What's that look like?
Yeah, I think my training is quite a bit different than most in arm wrestling because everyone got confused when John Brzezinski, all he did was table time for a million years and he turned out to be the best arm wrestler of all time. So for most lazy people, they take that as, I don't have to work out.
Sounds familiar.
I'm not talking about you, Chance.
Oh,
I'm talking about anybody who uses strictly table time. Table time is massively important to develop tendons. The first few years of arm wrestling, you have to be on the table constantly to get your tendons built up so it can withstand what is happening. Once your tendons are strong, then I actually learned this from John Brzezinski, strangely enough. I asked him few years ago at Bob Brown's tournament. I picked his brain a little bit and I was disappointed in his answers, but later on it turned out to be like some of the greatest answers ever. I just didn't like the answer. He said, once your tendons are strong, you just have to get stronger. And so I thought, it's the dumbest answer ever. You're like the greatest of all time. And you're just, oh, get stronger. Like, all right, I'll go get stronger. But he wasn't lying. So if I get stronger, look at like the main components of arm wrestling, especially with my style. Back, I'm dragging. So I work my back out. Hand and wrist, not so much. I don't exactly rely on it or need it in the strap. The strap solves that problem. So why am I going to spend time making my hand and wrist strong? I'm going to spend time figuring out how to get to the strap. That's my game. So second thing, biceps. I don't work out heavy ass biceps. I don't train to get injured. I don't train to show off. I'm pretty jacked. And the reason I'm jacked is because I'm not injured. So I work out consistently. When I'm doing biceps, you can't see, I'm in my gym right now in the garage and I have a card in front of me. I'd show you. I've got a full set of dumbbells. It is rare that I go above a 35-pound dumbbell on my biceps. I'm usually 20, 25, sometimes 15, super light, lots of reps. And the reason I do that is it still tears down muscle just as much as if you work heavy. You just have to work longer. So more reps, less injury. So then it's going to build that muscle up. So that's what I do for arms. I do some forearm stuff. I like those tools that Raymond Cody has invented, the Country Crush. I like those. They're solid for giving a good forearm. They also give you a pump really, really high up on the wrist, which is hard to attain. So if I can get the pump here, get my forearm built, then that's going to help. Shoulders, I use a lot of shoulder in arm wrestling. So I do tons of shoulder workouts. That's why my shoulders are pretty huge. Core, nobody talks about core.
Very important. People overlook it.
People don't do this. That's what people that don't know how to arm wrestle think arm wrestling is.
Yep.
Arm wrestling is stay stable and turn your body. So what is that? That's going to be my core. So I work core, chest for side pressure. It's the only thing I really go heavy on, honestly, is chest because I feel super confident in chest. So I have a pretty ridiculous bench.
What's your bench at?
My max was 410.
Okay.
So
Hey, I'm going to catch you soon.
Nice.
So what? I have 100 pounds on you. That doesn't matter.
Honestly, it's huge no matter what weight, because like if I don't go to the gym anymore because I have a gym at my house. But when I went to the gym, it was really rare that you would see people with more than 3 plates.
Yeah.
And that's it. Working out for 6-7 years, I almost never saw anybody put more than 3 plates on. So if you can do more than 3 plates, you're more than pretty much everyone.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Mr. 15 Hertz asked, will Dallas attempt a round without playing around to get to the straps? And of course, we've already answered that. The first round you plan in on slipping yourself?
Maybe. I don't know. I'll find out when I get there.
Attempt it, right?
Yeah, you're going to play around with it then.
It depends on what his hand feels like. That's honestly what most of this will come down to, is it depends on how people set up. If they're setting up high, I don't need to I can slip if you're setting up high really easy. If you set up low, then it's a little bit different angle. So then it's, do I go downward or do I sneak attack? You're prepped for just holding on.
Right.
I beat one of my rounds with Jamie Sheldon years ago. One of my rounds that I had beat him on was just a sneak attack. He was just prepped to hold on. So I just blasted sideways. He held on and I win. So
So you're going to explore your options and see how you feel in the moment.
Yes.
Couple things real quick. Got a super chat in from Robert Kelly, says he loves the higher rep mentality. Robert's someone who I've talked to quite a bit, and I keep trying to get him to go heavy, and he will just keep doing his high reps. So, at least there's someone that agrees with him. And then also State Kings commented that there is now a new block available. So guys, if anyone's interested in betting on Dallas, I know a lot of people in the chat said that they missed out. There's a new block available. So
let's just fill this one out too.
Let's go ahead and get that one filled as well for Dallas.
But to be fair, Dallas, if I'm not wrong, you do very heavy deadlifts, don't you? Deadlifts, pull-ups, that sort of thing.
Super rare.
Rare?
Deadlifts, they're super good for arm wrestling, but I mostly go lighter.
Gotcha.
That's when you have to have a lot of leg strength and a lot of hamstring stability in order to go heavy on deadlifts. And I've had some scary moments trying to get incrementally heavier on deadlifts where I thought it's not worth breaking your back or screwing up your back or straining it.
Gotcha.
So I'm somewhat light. I usually will do 1 plate deadlifts, which are easy, warming up, get to 2, maybe 3. And that's kind of 3 starts to feel heavy. If you're really feeling it and you're like, I could do, 450, 500 pounds on a deadlift is my guess. I think I did a 450 with Cody Hadley over at my house. Somewhat easy, but it's not worth trying to get to 600 pounds and injure myself to say that I can deadlift a couch.
I've heard a lot of people saying that deadlifting is not a great risk to reward exercise, especially for arm wrestling.
100%. It's good for your hand. It's good for your wrist. It's good for your back. Lats, there's some lat strength in there, but there's other ways safer, or just do the same lift lighter and then you're safe.
Yeah. I do want to experiment with running deadlifts back in my program again, because that was something I was doing before I got injured and having nutritional deficiencies that I felt like was giving me a lot of strength. Mm-hmm. Like I was doing 400 pounds, like double overhand for tons of reps, and stuff like exercise like that, JM presses, pull-ups, just give me so much table strength.
For sure.
It feels unreal, but the risk is always there. It's probably exercises like that that may have caused me to become more susceptible to injuries when I went and competed. So I don't really know how to find the balance yet. And that's something I'm just going to have to keep experimenting with, because it is tricky.
Yeah, there's a lot of stabilizer muscles that people don't take into account. Like most people, when they're deadlifting, don't think I need really strong hamstrings. It doesn't cross most people's minds. But if you see people that are really good at deadlifts, look at their hamstrings. They got freaking tree trunk legs.
Absolutely.
See, I've only ever tried to deadlift once. It was like 2 years ago, 135, something hurt in my back. And I said, I'm never doing this again. It's just not worth it. I built a lot of strength.
When you try to squat.
Yeah. I'm not going to squat either. What do I need to squat for? I'm an arm wrestler.
You come down a little bit crooked, it starts to feel weird.
So I'm not saying squat isn't a great exercise for most, but for arm wrestling, it's just not as important as other exercises. So I'll be focused on other things there. So
chances as a natural, he's able to bench press and max out on the bench press every single week.
That's nuts.
That's pretty rare. So I honestly agree with him. He's got to do what he's already built to do. If he can keep maxing out, attempting 405 and more than 405 every week and not have it negatively affect his ability to compete in these tournaments, then I wouldn't change what he's doing.
Yeah. About 6 months ago is when I hit 315. So I feel like I've made a good amount of progress, about 90 pounds in 6 months. So I'll probably just stay at that. You mentioned Cody Hadley coming over to your house and training with you. Speaking of him, you do have a match coming up with him left-handed, correct?
I do.
And how are you feeling about that?
I'm confident. I've never lost to him. So is he very good? Yes. In practice, I can't even hold the dude. I can't even do anything. I can't beat him right-handed in practice. But
only recently, right?
What's that?
Only recently have you not been able to beat him in practice on the right arm.
Honestly, I can't really beat most people in practice. I don't know if it's like when I go to practice, I'm not there to be the best guy at practice.
Yeah.
I'm there to get a workout. I'm there to build strength in my tendons. That's really all I'm there. Table time is good for tendons. It's good for endurance. So I'm not there to, my ego is very lacking when I go to a practice event because I don't care. When I go to a tournament, it's like LeBron James in playoff mode. I'm there to win.
Absolutely.
So when I go to the tournament, I am ready. And everything in my head changes. I'm ready to murder every single person that I am standing against, whether I love them off the table. I'm ready to take their fucking soul.
Yeah.
That's just my mindset on every match.
So you're pretty confident in that match as well then?
Yes. I'm not.
Is there a weight limit there?
I think it's 205. Cody never has an issue with weight.
Yeah.
I can dial in to whatever weight.
Yeah.
So after you beat Craig this Saturday, do you plan on going a little heavier and cutting back down? Or are you going to walk around at 205? What's your plan?
So part of the reason I gained so much weight was freaking SARMs, which I am not going to take anymore. So if anyone's watching, they want my SARMs, I've got like 7 bottles. I'll sell them to you. Kind of kidding, but whatever. So yeah, I'm not going to take the SARMs anymore. I think it was good to put on the weight because obviously you're going to gain some muscle, but man, is it hard to lose weight. I hate trying to it's easy to do a water cut and lose 10 pounds, but I didn't have to do a water cut on this one. I had to do like legitimate dieting, which sucks. I hate going to bed.
What are you eating?
I'm eating a poke bowl with very little amounts of rice, some salmon, and an avocado.
Nice.
Nice.
A lot of people gave me crap when I was eating on my video with Devin. So
I don't
expect a little bit of crap.
Fuck off.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't care.
Exactly.
I got to eat. I'm on a schedule of eating, so my metabolism's going, so I can make sure I'm taking craps, and so I can be 205 tomorrow. So
exactly.
Absolutely.
You have to be on point with everything. And guys, again, for those of you who weren't in here earlier, Dallas sold out his block, but another block is now open. State Kings open that up. So make sure you go hit the link. I put it in the comments and you can place your bets on Dallas.
Let's get Dallas above Craig right now. That'd be cool.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So,
or bet on Craig if you want to bet on Craig, obviously. We're not telling you.
Bet on him so it leaves more room for me to bet on me.
Yeah,
there you go. There you go. So after the super match, do you plan on pulling in the tournament?
My plan is yes. However, like Mike Tyson says, everyone's got a plan until you get punched in the face. So if I am fresh enough to where I can do some damage, 100%. You don't get a lot of opportunities to pull someone like a John Brezink. Do I care about the 205-pound class in Utah? Not really. There's nobody in Utah that can beat me at 205 pounds. Left-handed, I'll probably pull. So my left is good for one tournament every 3 months. And then I don't do anything with it because it's always hurt. So I'll probably pull left, and then that'll give me enough time to not pull again until Cody in September. So I'll probably pull left 205. And then depending on the freshness, I want to enter whatever class John Brezink's in, which sounds like is the heavier class with Cody Merritt. And I talked to Cody this morning. So yeah, I'm hoping if everything went according to my brain, I destroy Craig, I'm fresh, and then I go have an actual legit match with the GOAT where I don't get embarrassed. I don't know if I would win. I don't think I would win. Legitimately, I don't think I would. But if I can make it a match, that would be a massive win for me mentally.
Well, hey, if you do end up winning, I think my block will sell out about like that.
The block will be, no one will bet on John.
I think Dallas might go buy your block after that.
Yeah,
I'll buy all of it. Because my initial thoughts, I told you, I love you guys, but my initial thoughts are, oh, actually, it may have changed after I watched you guys' interview with him because he agreed to go to the strap for 4
I know, how awesome is that?
Was insane.
Because that dude, there are very few people on this planet that can prevent me from getting to straps. That is one of them. His hand is just it's on God level. It's stupid.
So do you think it was better for me to agree to the straps?
1000%.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
I felt a nice sigh of relief.
His hand is absolutely weird. Like you can't, like normal, I have a weaker hand than most, so it's hard to relate this to anything in a normal scenario for most normal arm wrestlers. Most people, like if I'm with Jamie Sheldon, I can move his hand a little bit. If I'm with people that are around 200-ish, I can feel a little bit of movement
Mhm.
in a top roll motion. When you grab a hold of John Brezink, there is zero hand control on your side. You just feel demoralized. And so that's going into it. I'm like, Chance, I don't know I don't know if he can get to the strap. I know you're good at slipping, but I thought John is so good at not letting somebody slip because he knows every move intuitively. He knows how, if you're going to flop wrist, he knows how to beat that. If you're going to try to come back, he knows how to contain it. So getting to the strap with John is unbelievably hard. So having him agree to going there 4 times is humongous for you. So congratulations on talking him into that. That was a poor move.
Thank you.
He brought up the idea. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Killer move. So that changes things for me. If there was no strap, I would unload on John because he's the GOAT for a reason. I don't care if he's been gone for 7 years. I pulled him at your dad's house, Kyle, a year or 2 ago, when I was feeling pretty similar to how I'm feeling right now. There was a 0% chance of doing anything with him outside of the strap.
And how did you feel inside the strap?
He wouldn't go. I don't know. You didn't dare. Just kidding. I'll see him this weekend, and I'm sure after the event, everyone always seems to go to Bob Brown's house, and they'll after poll. John will likely be there, is my guess. I don't know.
Well, I hope he just continues to pull and pull and pull and keep pulling afterwards during the tournament, get in some wars.
Is your thing what, next week?
It's the 31st, so it's 2 weeks.
2 weeks. That should be, yeah. Maybe he won't go to John's if he's, or to Bob's. If he's smart, which he is, he probably won't go to Bob's. And he's also staying in Ogden, which you guys are not super familiar with Utah, but Ogden is super north. Bob is like South Salt Lake area in Riverton. Ogden is like a solid hour and a half, 2 hour drive one way.
Okay.
He's not, I doubt he would drive a 4 hour round trip to arm wrestle with people he's beat 1,000 times in his life and trained with for 25 years.
Yeah.
So maybe I won't know. After pulling at the event, though, that's where I'll be able to give you some insight. I'm sure he'll just let me go to the strap with him.
Yeah, well, I'm going to need all the insight you can give me because I'm walking in it blind. I've never gripped up with John.
His hand is weird. It's just weird. It's like grabbing a robot, and the robot just does whatever is the best move against you. It's like he's got AI intelligence built into his fucking arm.
Yeah. Now that being said,
muscle memory.
That being said, his arm doesn't seem to be there like it used to be.
True.
So, maybe
even if it goes down 20%, it's still at the weirdest level of eliteness that exists.
Is it?
I don't know. Like it's weird. He is very, very strong.
Yeah.
So in his mind, because he was the greatest of all time, if he loses 20 or 30% and other people are in that range of where they're able to beat him, in his mind, he's like, oh, I'm no good anymore. But to any normal human that feels him, they're like, what on earth is this? So I'll know more this weekend. But going into it, as of my last experience of pulling with him, the dude's still ridiculous.
Okay. But you plan on getting through Craig Tullier so fresh that you're going to be able to hold John up.
I don't think I'll be fresh, but I think I'll be fresh enough to where I don't just get slammed to the pad. However, John knows I don't know if I can get to the strap with him, honestly. And I've gotten good at getting there. I don't know if I can get there even with all my newest skills. I'll need like a bucket of Crisco and KY jelly to hope. Maybe I'll bring that.
Yeah. Yeah. Why not? So awesome. I'm just going to check again, and nobody's filled up your second block yet. So again, I'm going to post that link. Go bet on Dallas, because as soon as this is over, I'm betting on Dallas. Oh, yeah. So you can prevent me from making money. So if you don't like me, go bet on Dallas. If you do like me, listen to what I'm saying and go bet on Dallas. So either way, you should be betting on Dallas.
I love it.
Right?
Yeah. I know Craig is an animal. Excuse me. But I just think he's going to attack right into my sweet spot, and I'm just going to contain, be patient, and work. That's the plan.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything else you want to touch on while we're on here?
I like your hair, Kyle.
Hey, thank you. Do you know the reason why I did it?
I do. I watched your guys' whole show with John last night, and you
Nice.
did a fantastic job. I clicked on the link and I'm like, oh, it's an hour and a half. Maybe I'll watch 10 minutes of it. And an hour and a half later, I'm like, well, there goes that night. It was good. So yeah, it was entertaining. So I saw the reasons, and I hope they get to 20 grand because that's a big deal to what were you gonna do? Tattoo tugboat on your butt or something?
Yeah, 15,000 is a tattoo. So it's kind of far reach to imagine that we'll get there, especially when the event's happening regardless of the GoFundMe. But I felt like these incentives could potentially add enough creativity to it to make it possible, you know? And I feel like there's a lot of people that do just want to throw money in it because it's John, you know? Like if you're ever going to raise money on a GoFundMe, it'd be for John Brzenk, really.
Right.
That should be the easiest GoFundMe in the world.
Yeah.
But the added incentives of like me torturing myself should help a little bit. And honestly, even though there are things that some of them aren't that bad, some are really bad. They're things I would never imagine doing. But when you're doing them for the cause of raising money for John Brzenk and Chance Shaw, it makes it a lot cooler. You know,
100% agree. It's more memorable and easier to swallow the results of what you do.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think the prices of them are relatively reasonable. Like we're about $50 away from an eyebrow slit, and I don't think that one's that bad at all.
Yeah, that's livable, especially in Florida. That's like a standard issue move in Florida.
But who knows? Maybe when I'm doing the slit, I'll slip a little. I don't know.
I would honestly think that the eyebrow slit is not as bad as this. 100%.
And so part of my fun past in history, I was in Utah State Prison in 2006 through 8. A lot of skinheads in there. Weird topic, not my style, but they would shave their heads and their eyebrows. That was their thing. Eyebrows grow back faster than you would think. So
yeah, it's not for most people, but when I've Google searched it in the past before, because I always thought about the idea just because it was funny. Some people never grow their eyebrows back.
It's like 12% of people.
For real?
Yeah.
I saw, well, at least my experience of seeing, I don't know, 20, 30, maybe 40 dudes do it. They all seem to come back, and it is a very weird look. So be prepared. Yeah. It is bizarre. So
I don't want to risk it. I would rather just do like an eyebrow slit somewhere. And if that didn't grow back completely,
it'll go back.
Not that big of a deal, but the entirety of the eyebrow not growing back, that's just
like an absolute alien when you do it. It's bizarre.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll have to drop the other goals down one, and then the 20,000 goal will be no eyebrows.
Oh man,
what do you think of that?
I don't know about that one.
No.
Yeah, you're 2 weeks out, 2-3 weeks out from it even like looking like it could have potentially just been maybe an accident at a what is that? Those people that do the eyebrow work on their microblading.
Yeah, microblading. Yeah.
It just looked like a poor microblading experience after about 2 weeks, but the first 2 weeks is pretty brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to share the GoFundMe link. Someone's asking for that. So if you guys want to see me shave Kyle's eyebrow, just a little slit, maybe a little bit more than a little slit, we'll find out how steady my hands are. Check out the GoFundMe. We're what is that? $66 away from slitting Kyle's eyebrow. So again, all that goes towards me and John Brzezink's match. Mm-hmm. And Kyle is doing it just to help us out. So what a nice guy, Kyle. I'm going to also share Dallas's link again.
I love the amount of people that have been commenting on the videos saying that I secretly want to do all these things. Like I'm just some person that's been dreaming my whole life to just have a reason.
Yeah. People are dumb.
Yeah.
Comments online. I'm like, who are these freaking humans? Some weird stuff out there.
Yeah. Have you been reading all these?
We do some weird comments.
All these Facebook threads that are tagging me and stuff.
No. Look, the first dude that commented, his name was Satan Raper.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was
Devil Raper.
Very first comment. Not to disrespect that guy though.
Yeah, he's probably a great guy, just with a really weird name. You might.
Yeah. There's a lot of interesting characters in here.
Yeah.
So is there going to be a live stream this weekend?
Yeah, Bob Brown.
Bob Brown's YouTube channel?
I don't know if it's his YouTube or if it's just like on his phone.
Well, tell him to do it on his YouTube channel. I'm going to share Bob Brown's YouTube in here. So everyone that staked Bob Brown. everyone that staked, make sure you go subscribe to Bob Brown. You can watch Dallas make you some money live. There you go.
We would have been there. We really wanted to be there, but we ended up committing to refereeing on the same day in a Florida event.
And it's starting to get back to being expensive to travel.
Yeah, it wasn't super cheap to book the tickets to Utah.
Yeah.
But I don't know, to West Virginia, the tickets are like $100 a piece or something like that.
Well, nobody wants to go to West Virginia.
Yeah, but round trip. So if you want to go to West Virginia to Florida.
Yeah, that's a killer deal. I'm just saying, like, in general, who's trying to fly to West Virginia? What's there?
An arm wrestling tournament. I think that's about it for the year.
Parks, meth addicts, and Travis Pageant.
Well, I've never been there, so
I've never been there.
Oh, nobody has.
It says done, $66.
Oh yeah, let's see it.
I don't see it. Hey, but you know what's interesting though. I don't know about Chance, but for me, every place that we go to this year for an arm wrestling event is the first time I've ever stepped foot in the state.
Yeah.
My entire life revolves around arm wrestling.
Yeah.
I'm only seeing these states because I'm an arm wrestler.
That's like honestly one of my favorite parts about the sport is everyone is cool for the most part. Everyone will invite you to their house. They'll let you sleep at their house. They will take it's legitimately a community that's unlike any other. It's if you're a sports fan, and let's say like for me, I like watching basketball. If I wanted to get into being good at basketball, I can't call LeBron and be like, hey dude, will you show me what you're doing to really be the best? And he wouldn't respond. If I messaged John Brzezinski, he would probably respond. And if he didn't, it's because he doesn't know how to use the internet because he's like 50. So like that's the coolest part about the sport is like the community is legitimately cool. I don't have a ton of friends. I don't really try to find a ton of friends, but I feel like a lot of my actual friends that I would consider friends are in the arm wrestling community. And that's one of the, you get to travel and have fun and spend time with people you like.
Yeah. It's really cool. It's a really amazing community. I mean, Kyle and I have been getting to travel all over the United States, really. And like you said, pretty much anyone you hit up is willing to talk to you about whatever it is, arm wrestling related. When you travel, people are willing to host you, pick you up from the airport, drive you around, regardless of what level you're at, which I've always found to be super cool. For example, in December when I went to California, you hosted me, which was super awesome, and I appreciate that.
I was happy to have you. So that is one of the coolest things. You get to travel, you get to enjoy different people, you get to see different places. It's one of the reasons I, at some point on the bucket list, want to go to like Zloty in Poland. It'd be cool to go there.
Maybe we'll have to go together because I want to go as well.
Yeah, I'll go as well. Let's just all go compete in Zloty next year.
Yeah, it would be killer because it's like I'm honestly over the whole Europeans are the greatest thing ever. Like they're not. I don't give a shit. They're not. So pound it.
Well, I can't talk about it too much, but you might see myself against one of the top Europeans, and hopefully I'll be able to prove that you're right.
Well, if you beat John Brzezinski, I'd just immediately close shop, retire, and call it a day.
That's what I should do.
I'm just kidding, but yeah, like if you beat John, that's like I don't care at what phase you beat him. That's like an unbelievable accomplishment.
Yeah, I don't care if he's 80 when I beat him. Like it's
I don't know if I could beat him. 99% of arm wrestlers that train in the world right now still couldn't beat John Brzezinski. Like, maybe that's not the exact percent, but it is something ridiculous. Like just because John doesn't arm wrestle and just started training for arm wrestling like a month or so ago again, you can't count him out of anything.
No.
Like
he's better than the top 1%, I would say. Because I mean that means 1 out of 100 arm wrestlers. How many arm wrestlers do you know? How many are beating John Brzezinski?
Well, at that practice in San Diego, he wasn't even phased by anyone, and that was when he hadn't even put his arm on a table for a long time. So he's something else.
Yeah, it's super exciting. Mike Coburg with a $4.99 super chat said, "Dallas, you got this, bro." Mega Mike.
Oh, Mike Coburg, that's Mega Mike.
Yes, it is.
I love Mega Mike.
Mega Mike is actually a big watcher of Chance's videos. He's always throwing in super chats.
He is. And I always appreciate it.
He's the strongest dude that's newer in the sport than anyone I've ever met.
Yeah, I think he would destroy Pork Chop. What about you?
I don't even know who Pork Chop is. So yeah.
He's
Curtis Cameron.
He's Devin's boy.
Oh, I don't care who he is. There's
He's basically the Canadian Mega Mike. We'll say that.
Well, Canadians have what? 3 legitimate arm wrestlers: Devin, Matt Mask, and Ryan Espy.
Yeah.
Well, you don't think Brendan is legit?
Brendan's legit, but like at the level of like super elite, no.
Maybe Burgoyne's left has an argument.
I haven't pulled Burgoyne's left. I supposedly have heard it is good. I pulled him a little bit right-handed and I couldn't even feel him. So it's like,
yeah,
Burgoyne.
Well,
yeah, right.
We did just get a $66 donation on the GoFundMe from Dennis Smith, which puts us exactly at $1,000.
Wow.
So Dallas, since you're on here, which eyebrow should we do? The right one or the left one?
It's your choice, Kyle. I don't care which one. Let's see. If it's me, I'd say the better looking one would be your left. Point to your left.
This is the better looking?
That's the better one to do.
Wait, that's the better one to do?
Yeah, that's the one that I would fire in on right there.
All right.
How big of a piece do you think I should take off? About half of it?
No, it's a slit in the middle. So it looks like who's that rapper from Florida that has a bunch of gold chains on at all times? He's a white guy with weird teeth.
I have no idea who you're talking about.
You guys are probably too young. He has some stupid name, but he has the slits in his eyebrows. He thinks he's black and he's not. He's got a few.
Sounds like half of Florida. To be honest with you, I don't really know. All right, you ready, Kyle?
I'm ready.
Oh, you're doing the other one.
We're doing the other side?
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
That was not the side that Dallas said.
Oh,
Let's go.
That doesn't look too bad.
That doesn't look that bad.
There you go. Throw a gold chain on and put a Cuban cigar in your mouth.
Did I do the other one? Dallas said the other one.
Someone donates $500 right now.
Wait. You need to raise more money for the other one.
Yeah, 500 in the next 5 minutes.
Whoa. I honestly thought I made a bigger slit. That's too small of a slit.
Bro, that is a huge slit. What are you talking about?
That's a good size. That's a reasonable slit that looks purposeful. So maybe the next slits could be like some side steps.
Yeah, just keep putting more slits on.
Yeah, you're in Florida. They don't even. That's like a normal thing there.
So maybe every $5 donation, I'm going to put another slit in Kyle's eyebrow, and you guys have the next. Wait, no, $5 is too small.
That's way too small.
Hey, let's do 3 more minutes for every donation. I'll do another slit.
It's got to be something big. I don't want to look like a circus clown, bro.
You kind of already do, though.
How long do you got to keep the hair like that? When do you get it like?
So I will change my hairstyle the day of or the day before the competition, unless we reach $10,000 and someone gets to choose the hairstyle I wear for when we go for Win Chance Pulls John Brzane. So someone could choose this hairstyle if they wanted to. They could choose anything, but that's only if we reach 10,000.
Dennis Smith said he'll throw another 66 for another slit.
That's way too small, I think.
Are you sure?
I think. To have another slit?
Yeah.
Dallas, what do you think?
I'd say 100 would be a good marker. So have him throw 66, and I'm sure some more people will throw in the other, $40 or whatever.
Well, there you go. So if we hit another $100, I will do another slit, and whoever donates the money gets to pick which eyebrow.
Yeah, I would be down to maybe have 2 in this eyebrow. I don't know.
Yeah, you'd prefer to have 2 on the same spot because that's more normal. Where if you do both sides, then it was like an accident.
It looks a little weird.
This is awesome.
$100 in the next how many minutes?
10 minutes, 7 minutes by 3:20.
Okay.
Or 12:20 your time.
We'll do.
While we're over here, I'm going to go ahead and share all of the links again. So this is to Dallas's State Kings. I'll post the GoFundMe as well. Dennis said for another $100, I want 2 slits. No go.
No. Come on. Help me raise money for John, Dennis.
66 every slit. Bro.
That's just not a good deal.
It's not a good deal. Kyle says no way.
The goal was $1,000 for an eyebrow slit, and I'm just going to slap on another one for $66. That doesn't seem very just.
That's too funny. So, right-handed at the King of California event Kyle is putting on, do you have any matches lined up?
Is it Harold Ryden? No? Okay. He hit me up, he threw his name in the hat, and I said, I'm good with anybody. I don't care who shows up. I'll be happy to pull anybody.
I mean, Harold's a legend. He's a world champion, I believe, at a weight class. Like, WAF competitor. Like, he's been in the game for a while, but I talked to Derek. Derek doesn't feel like it's a good idea for me to give Harold the match. But Derek said if Harold would come to Derek, train at Derek's, and prep for the match, he'd be more comfortable with it. Right. But I don't think Harold's really interested in that. Harold was more so trying to help me out just by getting his name in it. But I just have a hard time believing that Harold could win that just by being crafty, you know? Yeah.
So
the strength gap is a little much.
If you think about it, at 200 pounds right-handed, Jamie is now 200 pounds, could potentially be a very, very good threat. We've got Cody is also good right-handed. I don't know if he would be able to beat me in that setup. You've got Jody Smith, who's heavier, but is in Northern California. And what is that?
Bringing a lot of pull.
There's a few that are like there's not a ton at 200. There's a good amount at like 230ish. Like Russell Stark is freaking super strong. Yeah. But I think he's around 230ish, maybe 240. I don't know.
Russ could get in shape pretty well.
Yeah.
There is actually a lot of guys at 200 I would like to see you battle at right-handed, but that's only if they had a lot of time to prepare and if they were really devoted, like Russell Stark and you could be a great match. I think Russell has potential to be a top 10 in the country if he really wanted.
I agree.
I don't know if he could beat you, but if he would work hard for it, then that's a cool match. Then you have Jake Smith.
Oh yeah. He doesn't train,
Smith
but
really wanted it.
That could be cool, but he's in that same boat of he kind of got out of the sport as I was getting in.
Yeah.
But yeah, it doesn't take long to build your tendons back up. As John said to you guys last night, it only took a few weeks and it was massively different.
I think Jake could be very cool for it, but I just don't feel comfortable by the fact he only has a couple months to prepare. We really need to get you a worthy challenger.
Gage Jordan would have been it, but he's, I believe he moved to Washington State or something.
Who? Oh, Gage?
Yeah, Gage is a freaking monster.
Yeah, I heard Gage used to just wax you at practice.
He did. So did everyone else, though.
Waxes everyone at practice.
Yeah. Honestly, what I'm really hoping is there going to be an overall for the winners of the King of California?
That was never the plan.
Why not?
But I want to see it because I really believe that I am the King of California. And I don't
really
care what it is. No, but yeah.
Oh, I'm like, don't you get to pull with Derek pretty often?
Yeah, Derek. So yeah, Derek is very, very strong and he knows how to beat me. Mike Cobra, Mega Mike, also very, very strong. Pulls exactly the same as I do. What I want to beat Tom Nelson. So I've never played.
So you're hoping that Tom beats Derek then?
I don't. I really want Derek to win because I love Derek. And I think Derek will win because Tom hasn't been as active in years. Tom's the best at drinking beer at 3 a.m. and riding up Sand Mountain, but I don't know if he can beat a very well-trained Derek. Mm-hmm. If he can, though, I would love to be able to have an overall and potentially beat him. That being said, I would have to go through Mega Mike first because Mega Mike,
I imagine it would go heaviest to lightest.
Yeah, so I know. Really, that's what I'm saying. If however it plays out, Mega Mike, in my opinion, is going to beat the winner of whoever wins the super heavies.
So you're assuming Mega Mike just creams his opponent.
He's going against John Hoffman.
Yeah.
And John is not someone to take lightly. He has a very nasty hit. But if I were to bet on it, I would say Mega Mike takes that match. So in my mind, it's going to end up me and Mega Mike. And I don't know if I could beat Mega Mike even in a tournament setting. Like he's something else. if everything played out perfectly and I had a chance to go against Tom Nelson, I would love to pull Tom Nelson right-handed. Left-handed, he would Satan rape me, as your buddy.
That's funny. Well, yeah. So I mean, if there were an overall, and this is just if Kyle decides that's a good idea or not, but it would be the winner of Tom and Derek against the winner of Mike and Hoffman.
Yep.
And so you're assuming Mike beats the winner of Tom or Derek.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, he's a big backer for Mega Mike.
And then you would have to pull that person, and then the winner of that match would have who's the 185 match?
There is no 185 match. Luke is honorary king right-handed.
Okay.
And I guess left-handed as well, even though Ole's ranked above him in rankings now.
Luke and Ole would be so good to watch, but I from what I understand, we couldn't work something out because Luke wants to get paid to get there. That's not in the budget type of deal, is what I've heard.
It is in the budget. It's just only in the budget if he's willing to pull certain individuals. And he is. I mean, I tried to get him to pull Alan Fisher at 165 to just do like a 165 to like 185. He's not down to cut. He was totally down to pull Ole with the prep time he had, but Ole was not interested in throwing his own money into it because one of Luke's conditions was on top of travel expenses and a winner bonus,
$500 bet on
Ole to do a side bet as well, which I should have, if to be honest with you, that's my fault as a promoter. I should have just either covered Ole's side bet or put it up immediately and said, who wants to cover Ole's side bet? And we probably could have made that happen. But Ole, at the same time, is so young and he's more interested in pulling in the Arnolds, pulling in IFA Worlds this year. He has like 2 or 3 other super matches this summer coming up. I don't think he wants the pressure of it right now. And I don't think it's disrespectful for him to not want to compete at my event against Luke at this time. I mean, he's going to get to compete against Luke.
Ole is a freaking monster.
Any other times, right? Luke is still in his game, and Luke will probably pull the state championships again. So,
yeah. And to be honest, if I were to somehow, if we did an overall and Luke was there, I would be massively worried about Luke. He is so difficult to deal with. He's so fast. His hand is crazy. He's got all the tricks. He's got experience. I've pulled Luke in a few different tournaments. The last time I pulled him, I beat him because I got to my spot, but getting to my spot with him is not easy.
Yeah. Well, next year, potentially, we might just move Luke out of the 185 king slot and then have him go up against you right-handed.
That'd be cool.
That's
already
been something we've talked about with Luke. And the only reason it's not happening this year, because I mean, I know you're down for whoever I give you, is that Luke needs about 3 months to prepare for a Dallas level threat, he said.
Cool. Yeah, I would love to pull him. Tons of respect for Luke. He's at 185. He is nasty. And now that he's married and has kids, the dad bod's going to come. The weight will come. He'll be at 200 pounds, just like Harold Ryden used to compete at 176. Now what happened? He's 220. Shit happens when you get married and have kids and get a little bit easier on your eating.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I still find it surprising that you have Mike Coburg beating Derek.
I don't want to dwell on this because I love Derek, and Derek's going to hate me if I say this, but I'll tell you, here's my thoughts. And it went exactly how I had thought it out last time, which was very recently at the Nevada State tournament. I thought in my head, Mega Mike is taking the victory over all of them, including Cody Merritt. That was my thoughts. Not left-handed. His left is not the same, but right-handed, he pulls exactly like I do, and he's stronger than me, and he weighs 280. That's really, really difficult to get through a 280-pound version of myself.
Yeah.
Does Derek have more table knowledge, more skills, more everything? Yes. And Derek's a freaking monster. He's like 340 pounds. However, there is a little bit of a mental aspect of this that Mega Mike, when he shows up, he's got my mindset, which is ruin people's lives. And I think other people show up with more of a, hey, I want to win, but it's not going to ruin me mentally if I don't, where I fucking hate losing. I don't care who it is. I don't want to lose. And I don't think everyone has that killer instinct. And I think Mega Mike does with the power. And he's so new. In another 2-3 years, that dude is going to be ruining people. So yeah, I'm a huge Mega Mike believer and fan. Dude's freaking
Yeah.
weird strong for how new he is.
Wow, interesting. So maybe I need to come pull Mega Mike then.
Dude's freaking out of control. It would be solid.
Yeah.
You would have to be crafty, honestly.
I am known to be a little crafty.
That's why I like it.
Yeah. Awesome, guys. Well, we'll go ahead and wrap it up there. I'm going to share Dallas's State Kings one more time. Dennis Smith said that he's going to use his 100 instead of an eyebrow slit. He's going to go put it on you. I don't think that's a bad idea.
Not a bad idea
at all, because then he's going to have his what's the
You can
payback
actually
here?
make 100 into.
Yeah, what's the payback? I bet $500, and I swear my payback said I was only going to win like 380. What's that about? I bet 100 on you, and I win 3 times my money.
857.14. So you would be making $357.14.
Why is that? Isn't it 1-to-1? That's how stake.
No,
No,
so
they
staking
take a
is a
cut.
little bit different because the athletes get a cut. Of course, you would know about that side of it. So you and Craig are getting a cut. I'm fairly certain that Devin's also getting a cut,
I
and
know.
then State Kings takes their cut.
Yeah, per the math, stakings and the house take probably the biggest cut. And
Okay.
then athletes get their percent, which whatever that is, right? We don't know.
Well, we know.
No,
Public doesn't know,
nothing
right?
to get excited about. I'm not retiring.
No, no.
It's just so good for the sport. It makes it very exciting and easy for us to promote these matches, you know?
It's changing. It literally, this Devin and Armbet and whoever figured this thing out, this is the beginning of the next chapter of arm wrestling. Because
Absolutely.
we're going to attract actual athletes if there's money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and even though, like you said, we're not retiring off this money, it's still additional money, and every little bit is going to start to change. And as the sport starts gaining traction with people betting and staking on it, and we're getting paid even more and more, like you said, it's going to attract the actual athletes to push the sport to the next level. I think.
Yeah.
That in combination with social media is taking off.
Right. With your guys' YouTube stuff and your TikTok and all your social media and being able to hype things up, you can make money off of that. I believe that's what Devin is making money on, is YouTube. I believe that's what Michael Todd is making money on. So if you can be good with money and make money doing what you love, then you get to do what you love. And you can go travel around and make money arm wrestling and filming events, which is basically what they call living the old dream. So good work.
Absolutely.
Seriously, that's the goal. So
just to flex myself a little bit, I think there's probably only one other TikToker in arm wrestling that has made, I would assume, more money than me.
Bowen?
My following of 30K, I've made like $400 or
Nice.
so, which is considerably more than some of the other TikTok channels that have way more subscribers than me that promotes arm wrestling content. So the vision is there, right? It's just about scaling it up, you know?
Right. That's awesome. Good work. Keep doing what you guys are doing. And go ahead and send me a text tomorrow thanking me for your newfound fortune after you bet on me. Or
there you go.
Definitely.
All right, guys. Well,
Looking
take it
forward
easy.
to it.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
Awesome.
All right, and we are